Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Rare American Coins, where today we're diving deep into the story of the 1981 dime coin, a small yet powerful piece of American history that has fascinated collectors, historians, and numismatists for decades. This isn't just any ordinary coin. This is a coin with a story that begins long before 1980 and stretches through American politics, economics, art, and the very identity of the United States. Mint, so sit back and get ready, because for the next 2 hours we're going on a journey through time, metal design, policy, and value as we unlock everything you need to know about the 1981 dime coin. To understand the full history of the 1981 dime, we first have to go back to the birth of the American dime itself. The United States dime as a denomination was authorized by the Coinage Act of 1792, which also created the U.S. Mint and established the decimal-based monetary system. The term dime comes from the Latin word decimus, meaning 1/10. Because it represents 1/10 of a dollar. The first dimes were struck in 1796, featuring the draped bust design by engraver Robert Scott. And ever since then, the dime has gone through several major transformations in both design and composition. By the time we arrive at the 1981 dime coin, we are dealing with what is known as the Roosevelt Dime. This design was first introduced in 1946, just months after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, to honor his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his association with the March of Dimes campaign, which aimed to fight polio. Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse of the coin was created by U.S. Mint chief engraver John Arsenic, whose initials JS can be seen at the base of the bust. This dime replaced the earlier winged Liberty head design, often mistakenly called the Mercury dime. From 1946 until 1960, for Roosevelt dimes were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But after the Coinage Act of 1965, signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson, the dime was changed to a clad composition due to the rising cost of silver and increasing demand for coinage in commerce. The new dimes consisted of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This clad composition continued into the 1980s and is the metal formula used for the 1980 dime coin. Now let's focus on the year 1980 specifically and explore the historical background that shaped this coin. In 1980, America was in a time of great transition. It was the final full year of 1980 America was in a time of great transition. It was the final full year of Jimmy Carter's presidency. The nation was facing economic turbulence, including high inflation, rising interest rates, and global energy uncertainty. It was also the year of a major presidential election that saw Ronald Reagan defeat Carter and usher in a new political era. This national mood of uncertainty and change reflected a society clinging to traditions while adjusting to new realities. And in some subtle way, even the dime produced during this year captured a snapshot of that transformation. The 1981 dime coin was struck at 3 different U.S. Mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, each producing coins with distinct purposes and mint marks. Coins struck in Philadelphia bear no mint mark, which was the standard practice at the time for circulating coins. Although this changed in 1980 as the Philadelphia Mint began using the P mint mark on certain coins, starting with the Susan B. Anthony dollar coins struck in Denver feature a D mint mark, and those struck in San Francisco have an S mint mark and were primarily proof coins intended for collectors rather than general circulation. The business strike dimes from 1980 made at the Philadelphia and Denver mints were produced in huge quantities, with over 735 million struck in Philadelphia and more than 518 million in Denver, making the 1980 dime a common coin in terms of mintage. Yet not all of these coins are the same, and this is where rarity and collector interest come into play. Among the 1980 dimes, there are a few that stand out due to mint errors, varieties, and high-grade condition coins. For example, coins that were struck off-center, double-struck, or struck on defective plankets can be worth significantly more than face value, especially if they are graded and certified by a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. There are also high-grade examples of the 1980 dime that have sold for premium prices in the collector market. A coin graded MS6, 7 or higher with full bands or full torch details, indicating a sharp strike, can be quite rare and desirable. Full bands refer to the horizontal lines on the torch in the reverse design, which are often not fully struck due to die wear or misalignment. The presence of full bands or full torch details increases a coin's value because it shows it was struck with fresh dies and preserved in pristine condition. Now let's talk about the reverse design, which features a torch flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. This design, also created by John Arsenic, has remained largely unchanged since 1946 and has become one of the most enduring and recognizable reverse designs in American coinage history. The simplicity and symbolism of the reverse reflect both the values of post-war America and the artistic restraint that characterized mid-20th century U.S. coin design. The production process for the 1980 dime was also part of a larger trend in U.S. mint operations. During the late 20th century, the mint was expanding its use of high-speed presses, advanced die technology, and improved quality control measures. Even though the 1980s were not a peak era for collecting clad coins, some numismatists were already recognizing the importance of building full-date and mint-mark sets in high grades, which is why 1980 dimes with minimal wear, good luster, and clear strike details began to grow in demand over time. Another key aspect of the 1980 dime is its cultural and economic context. By 1980, the U.S. was still adjusting to a world where coins no longer contained silver, and where inflation had eroded the purchasing power of small denominations. Many Americans had begun to overlook the dime as a coin of value, yet the dime remained essential for everyday transactions. Vending machines, toll booths, parking meters, and transit fares continued to depend on this denomination, making it one of the most circulated coins in the U.S. economy and ensuring its continued relevance despite the changes in monetary policy. As we continue to explore the 1980 dime, we can also look at its role in broader collecting trends. The 1980s saw a rise in coin albums, proof sets, and uncirculated mint sets from the U.S. Mint, which encouraged a new generation of collectors to preserve coins from circulation. Many of these collectors began saving one-dime coins from each year, creating full-date runs and searching for varieties. This growing interest helped fuel demand for error coins, mint state examples, and other special versions of the 1980 dime. Another factor that adds depth to the 1981 dime story is the numismatic market itself. Throughout the 1990s and into the 2000s, the market for high-grade clad dimes, especially Roosevelt dimes, began to mature. Coin grading companies added population reports, online auction houses began recording realized prices, and collectors could now compare coins more easily than ever before. As a result, coins like the 1980 Roosevelt dime began to be seen not just as pocket change, but as valuable historical artifacts with individual market potential based on condition, strike, and rarity. In conclusion, the 1981 dime coin is more than just a 10-cent piece. It's a snapshot of American history, a reflection of economic policy, a tribute to a wartime president, and a cornerstone of modern numismatics. It's a coin that bridges the silver age of U.S. coinage and the clad era that followed. It's a coin that continues to circulate in millions, yet holds secrets for those who look closer. Whether you're searching for mint errors, collecting by year and mint mark, or simply fascinated by the story behind your spare change, the 1981 dime coin offers a rich experience that combines history, economics, art, and the spirit of discovery. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the 1980 Roosevelt dime, I hope you walk away with a greater appreciation for the coin in your pocket and the story it tells. Thank you for watching this video on rare American coins. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share as we continue to explore the hidden treasures of United States coinage, one coin at a time.